Space. The final humiliation. These are the voyages of Star Trek Lower Decks. Its continuing mission: to insult strange new fandoms, to seek out new characters and new IPs to bastardize, to boldly blow like no show has blown before. A little disclaimer here before I get started. I'm not a big Star Trek guy. I'll pause for a moment so you can let the shock sink in. I own all the TOS movies. I enjoyed DS9 back in the day. I've seen the Kelvin movies and assorted episodes of the other shows, but I've never really been a Trekkie. So I'm coming at this from an outsider's perspective. And from my outsider's perspective, Lower Decks is... Let's just get this over with. The series begins with the white guy. I didn't bother learning anyone's names, but that's basically what he's here to be. The white guy who's the butt of every joke and gets crapped on all the time because he's white and a guy. He's recording a log, which I believe is part of his job as an officer on a starship. Yeah, he's pretending it's a captain's log because he wants to be a captain someday. Little embarrassing, not really a big deal. But it's made into a big deal when the crazy chick walks in. You know, the one from the trailer. So Crazy Chick spouts off like 6 pages of dialogue in about 30 seconds with not a single joke to be found anywhere. She starts crawling all over him and trying to steal his data recorder because she's pissed drunk while on duty. Then she picks up this Klingon bat'leth and starts swinging it around like a lunatic and accidentally gashes his fucking leg open down to the bone. Because 1, he's a white guy, so he must have deserved it, and 2, because people getting humiliated and grievously injured is funny. To someone. Possibly. Maybe if he'd done something to deserve that, but he seems like just a regular guy minding his own business trying to do his job, and then this crazy person comes in and nearly kills him because she's a dangerously unprofessional crazy person. I mean, that might be funny if you really hate white dudes, but if that's the audience you're going after, then I don't think you understand Star Trek at all. Also, flip the genders and races. If a white male character did this to a black female character, every crybaby Karen on the internet would be screaming sexism and racism. Oh, but because it's a white male getting treated like this, that makes it okay, right? No, it doesn't. But the show thinks it does, and this was only the first of many examples. So get something to bite down on, because you're going to be grinding your teeth an awful lot here. Then we go to the green chick arriving on the ship. She's this wide-eyed, eager-to-please newbie. She goes to meet white guy who is trying to fix a broken replicator even though that's not his job and failing at it because of course. So him and crazy chick show green chick around. They run into cyborg dude whose cyborg implants are screwing up his emotions, which is hilarious because he's got a hot date tonight and this could make things potentially awkward. Then they hit the holodeck and crazy chick is like, "Hey computer, show me a bunch of naked men." Because objectifying the opposite sex is a bad thing except when women do it. Then it's all good. Then we cut down to some new planet where the command crew is wrapping up some diplomatic thing with the indigenous population, and one of them gets bitten by an alien mosquito. Now you would think that any Starfleet officer who knows anything about anything would immediately start asking, "Hey, is this something I need to worry about? Is that bug poisonous? Are there any side effects? How does this thing affect human biology?" You know, basic, helpful questions like that anyone with a single brain cell rattling around in their skull would ask. But he doesn't bother. He doesn't go to sickbay. He doesn't do, decontamination procedures so as to not infect his crewmates with an alien contagion or anything. He just beams back up to the ship with everyone else. And one of the other officers is like, "Hey, bro, you think you should get that checked out?" and he's like, nah, dude, it's all good. Let's go get shit-faced. Gee, I wonder what's gonna happen now. So White Guy gets called up to see the captain, and she gives him a very important assignment. Keeping an eye on Crazy Chick. And if she does anything insubordinate, the captain wants a full report. And for some reason, Crazy Chick damn near cutting his leg off because she was chugging Romulan whiskey while on duty doesn't count as insubordination because he doesn't think to mention that. Then we cut to Cyborg Dude on his date with some hot Trill chick. He tells her that he spends most of his days repairing broken replicators, which is weird because we just saw White Guy trying to do that because Cyborg Dude wasn't around. His implant is screwing up again, messing with his emotions, he's a little self-conscious about it, but Trill Chick thinks cyborgs are hot, so the date's going pretty well, until the bug bite guy from earlier flips out because, wouldn't you know it, he's having an adverse reaction to getting bitten by an alien insect. Wow, who could have seen that coming? I mean, aside from the ship's medical staff, if he'd bothered to follow what I assume are proper Starfleet procedures and gotten checked out or gone into quarantine until it was determined that he was not a danger to the crew or himself, but he didn't think to do any of that because the episode needed a plot. So he turns into a rage zombie and starts biting people. Suddenly this alien contagion is spreading faster than you-know-what. Within seconds the mess hall is turned into a bloodbath, and rather than do anything about this, Cyborg Dude and Trill Chick just keep right on flirting like nothing at all is wrong because everyone on this show is an idiot. Later on, Green Chick reports to sickbay. It's a disaster in there, and the doctor, who is a big talking cat for some reason, tells her to assist this zombified nurse. And she's like, wow, it's such an honor to meet you, sir. I'm so happy to be working with you. As he spews black zombie goo all over her. Oh yeah, don't worry about that. I'm sure that shit's totally harmless. Then later, they're completely out of anesthetic, so she has to pull a guy's heart out of his chest and pump it by hand so it'll keep beating while he's awake. They don't actually make a joke at any point, but this is meant to be funny because he's in agonizing pain. So down on the planet, White Guy notices Crazy Chick leave her post and take off with a bunch of supplies. He follows her, and it looks like she's selling Federation weapons to some locals, so he pulls a phaser on them, but turns out she's just giving them high-tech farm equipment or something. Still against Starfleet regulations, I think. Oh, but she's helping the little guy and defying Starfleet bureaucracy, which takes way too long to get anything done, so that makes it okay. Then the aliens get spooked by the phaser, they run into some cage, leaving the door open, and this giant spider monster thing comes out and starts tearing shit up. So they take cover, and Crazy Chick explains that she's always right and knows everything about everything and is the bestest ever because she served on 5 ships, and who knows why she got demoted to lower decks. I guess she got busted by the man or something. I'm sure that was the reason. It couldn't possibly have been because of your baffling arrogance and irresponsibility. Although, this monologue does have the closest thing the episode gets to an actual funny line. Crazy Chick says, "This one time I was in a Klingon prison and I had to fight a Yeti for my own shoes. For no reason, he was just being a dick." I didn't laugh, but the corners of my mouth might have twitched a little bit. So there you go. That's where the writers have set the bar for comedy. Now, are they going to try to reach that bar, or just continue to limbo under it? What do you think? So White Guy wants to phaser the spider monster before it, kills them, but Crazy Chick is like, no, you can't do that, that'll spoil the milk. What milk? These guys probably milk it. She doesn't know that, but it turns out to be true anyway because Crazy Chick has to be right about everything because she's a female POC and anything less would be sexist and racist. So Crazy Chick starts bossing White Guy around. They strip down to their undies to distract the spider monster with their uniforms, and when it goes for those, they jump on it. Naturally, it grabs White Guy, devours him, starts doing unspeakably horrible things to him while Crazy Chick is fresh as a daisy. Then the aliens come out and they're like, no, it's alright. It's just suckling on him. Just suckling on him. Oh, is that all? Well, then I guess everything's just fine. Back on the ship, Cyborg Dude and Trill Chick go on a spacewalk to get around all the zombies and reach a rally point. They re-enter on the other side of the ship, but it's a war zone, so they have to fight their way into a maintenance hatch. And all this danger has really gotten Trill Chick's motor running, so she lunges at Cyborg Dude, starts making out with him, but he couldn't care less about that because he's suddenly really excited about performing a diagnostic on this maintenance hatch, and then Trill Chick gets instantly fed up and walks away. There's a ship-wide crisis going on all around you, but sure, take off and leave this guy by himself because he didn't want to have sex during a flesh-eating zombie apocalypse. Back on the planet, Crazy Chick is just kicking back and chilling while her crewmate is getting psychologically scarred for life. Eventually, the spider monster gets tired out and falls asleep. She pulls White Guy out of its horrific gooey maw, and he's naked and covered in gross alien spider slime. And he's horrified, humiliated, traumatized, but not surprisingly, she doesn't give a shit. So on the drive back, White Guy has finally had enough and tells Crazy Chick he's been monitoring her for the captain, and for good f***ing reason. And she wonders why he worships the senior officers because they don't give a shit about them. Well, you don't give a shit about him either, so I fail to see the difference. So they beam back up to the ship, which has completely gone to hell, but the cat doctor analyzes the spider slime, and she's like, "Get this man to sickbay, he's super important." I mean, not him, he's worthless, but the slime, oh my god, the slime is awesome. The slime is gonna save our asses. Yeah, so the spider slime is the cure for the zombie apocalypse. Isn't that convenient? I'd like to point out for the record that this whole thing could have been easily avoided if just one character on this plague ship had thought to call the folks down on the planet like, "Hey dudes, listen, one of our guys got bitten by a bug down there and now lots of weird shit is happening. Do you have any medicine for this? Like an injection or a pill, a suppository, something like that?" But no. Even though Starfleet's supposed to be the best and brightest humanity has to offer, not a single one of these cud chewers thought to do the single most obvious and logical thing to do in this situation and had to be saved by the last-minute chance arrival of a humiliated White Guy covered in spider slime. Well, if that doesn't make you want to root for Lower Decks, nothing will! So they pump the slime through the life support system and that magically cures everybody. All the senior officers are patting themselves on the back, taking credit for everything, and Crazy Chick is like, "Hey, how about some credit for White Guy who brought you that Deus Ex Machina?" Nothing? Really? Alright, f*** you then. And that doesn't even come close to being an apology, but because White Guy has nothing even resembling self-esteem, that's all he needs. So he covers for Crazy Chick and does not rat her out to the captain after all. Because if it wasn't for her downright mind-blowing arrogance, insubordination, and irresponsibility, they'd all be dead. Isn't it funny how that worked out? Why, it's almost as if the writers don't want her to be held accountable for her horrible behavior, because if we treated everyone equally, that would be totally unfair! So then the captain calls up the admiral about Crazy Chick, and the big reveal is that these are Crazy Chick's parents. So because her parents are an admiral and a captain, Crazy Chick can just get away with whatever she wants. The rules will never apply to her, there will likely never be any accountability for anything she does, so if I had to guess, I would say that she's just gonna get a free pass to continue acting like an unprofessional lunatic, and the show will keep taking her side regardless, keep having things work out for her anyway, because the audience. So Green Chick is astounded that Cyborg Dude's date wanted to have sex when there were super awesome diagnostics to run. Crazy Chick is stunned that White Guy didn't rat her out. She is validated instead of reprimanded for being a goddamn lunatic. So they're besties now, whether White Guy likes it or not, and then mercifully it's over. Wow. I feel like the more you care about Star Trek, the more offensive Lower Decks is gonna be to you. And like I said, I'm not a hardcore fan. I'm more of a casual Trek viewer, so to me, this was just a poorly written, unfunny show full of unlikable characters and dripping with identity politics. I think the point was for this to be a Star Trek parody, but parodies are supposed to be funny. Parodies are supposed to have jokes. I didn't see any jokes here. A white guy getting constantly humiliated, shit on, and maimed because he's the white guy and that appears to be his role on the show is not funny. Your bestest ever POC lead female character not facing any consequences for acting like a psychopath and then getting proven right for doing so is not funny. Dialogue that goes by so fast you don't even care what the character is saying half the time is not funny. It might be if you actually put some jokes in there, but again, I didn't see any jokes. It was just madcap zaniness resulting from characters acting like idiots. And I may be just an outsider here, but that doesn't feel like Star Trek to me. So if you're failing at Star Trek, and you're failing at lampooning Star Trek, what exactly is this, and who the hell is it for? It feels like a show made by people who don't understand Star Trek for people who hate Star Trek. So, I guess it's Star Trek in 2020. Which can't be much fun for Trek fans, but hey, it's not like Star Wars fans have it any better, so we're all in the same boat now. Yay. Don't get used to these. I only reviewed this episode because they put it on YouTube for free. I don't have CBS All Access, and I don't plan on getting it unless this video really blows up. So if you want that to happen, do all the YouTube things. Ding that bell icon and follow me on Twitter to be notified about new videos. The link is down there. Leave a comment, positive or negative, it's all good. Like, share, subscribe. Make sure you're still subscribed, and I'll be back with more reviews very soon. Until then, live long and prosper.